Welcome back to part 2 of our latest trees at the end of the growing season here in Melbourne, Australia, Zone 9B. If you go back to part 1, you'll see an avocado being planted, a Jalla variety, and today we're going to do the other ones I got. 2 grafted American Pawpaws, North American Pawpaws. So it's very tight back here as far as position. So even though I've got a large property, guys, there's a catch, and that is I want to have walkways as well, and I don't want to pull out any of these trees that are here. Some of you might say I should pull out the sandpaper fig. What do you want it for? Well, I want it because it's first of all bush tucker. It's always good to have Australian bush tucker. Secondly, it's rare. I don't know anyone who's growing it in Melbourne. And thirdly, I want a canopy tree, guys. In this position here. Okay, so I'm not going to be pulling out trees like that, even though you would. I won't. So I'm really tight on space, and I have to also take into consideration that the American Pawpaws do not like direct sun for the first, well, 2 or 3 years. Why am I saying that? Because, well, have a look. I planted one over here. I've got 3 seedlings, and I haven't had any luck with them at all. By the way, it's the middle of autumn, or late autumn now in Australia, and they're dropping their leaves. But other than the leaf drop, they haven't done anything, right? They're just, and the reason is, it's in, it gets full late afternoon sun in sun. Oh my gosh, late afternoon sun in late summer. Right, so when it's 40 Celsius in summer, guess when it hits 40? Guess when it hits the maximum temperature in summer? Between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. That's how it works here. It's not like the tropics, where you guys get all your heat in the late morning. We don't have late heat. We don't have heat in the late morning, guys. The heat doesn't reach our sky until way in the afternoon. All right, it's different to the tropics. In Cairns, it's like 35 Celsius at 9 o'clock in the morning. Wow. Not here. Here it's not going to get to 35 Celsius till 3 p.m. at the end of the day. So this guy was copying those last 3 hours of heat all summer. So whether it was 30 or 40, he was getting the maximum temperature. The rest of the day, like the morning, all morning, he was in the shade because of the jujube and the mulberry. So that's why he suffered those last 3 hours of the late afternoon hot sun. Damn, I'm gonna have to shade him with a shade cloth next summer. Yeah, he hasn't done anything. Really bad news with American Pawpaw if you don't do it right. And I've got 2 other ones. There's another one there. Same, well, this one has had a lot more shade. It's also dropping its leaves. I'm gonna do a thorough video today, guys, not just planting and see you later. My videos are not 3 minutes. My videos are minimum 30 minutes because I want to cover everything. And that's only for some of you, right, to bear. Loyal fans. Okay, so and thanks to the guys who have mentioned that you appreciate the longer videos. I really appreciate that. I'm like that too with videos, like watching hour-long videos from Florida. I love them. Not 3 minutes. 3 minutes is too short. It's like, are you kidding me? I just made my coffee and the video's over. Video's finished. But that's me, right? Nothing wrong with if you like that. So it's dropping its leaves. The season's over. It's a deciduous tropical, unlike any other tropical. So he got shaded by the fig tree here. Look at that. But he's going to be in for a big shock next spring and summer. I need water. Because I'm going to butcher this fig tree. I'm going to get some water. Hang on. Oh, water. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just finished making part 1. And I didn't have any water. Yeah, as I was saying, that fig tree is going to get butchered in whenever, right? Somewhere between July and September. That one there, the big one. It's the same type of fig tree that I had over here. The one I pulled out. Well, I didn't pull it out. I shaved it to the bottom. So that means that American pawpaw there is not going to get its late afternoon shade like it did last summer. So I'm going to have to build a shade structure for him too. Urgh. I don't like building structures, guys. I'm not a builder. I'm not a handyman. I might have done well with a garden, right? Like people see this and they say, "Why did you do all this?" Yeah, guys, I just I just dug a hole and put a tree in a hole. It doesn't get any easier than that. Come on, anyone can do it. Hang on. And the reason why people won't do this, well, other than not having a garden, okay, but the people that do have gardens that don't do it, is they don't want to waste their time looking after it. Oh man, that's the best part. Looking after the garden is the best part. What are you going to do with your life? Sit in a house and watch TV? Yeah, so this is the third seedling pawpaw. And this was getting full shade for the first 5 years by this guy. This 5 meter tall European plum tree, which got butchered a couple of months ago. So now, surprise, you're gonna be naked. You're not gonna get any more protection unless I give it to you. So that's the main problem with pawpaws, guys. That's the main problem. The second problem, of course, is the soil. Yeah, they need moisture. They love water. Water. And in summer, here where I am, there is no water. You gotta make sure the soil is moist all summer with mulch, straw, and all the rest of it, right? They don't like to dry out. So we've got two issues. One is the sun, and the other one is moisture. And that's it. That's pretty much it. Then there's miscellaneous issues, right? We're not going to talk about those because that applies to every tree. All right, let me drink my water and get digging. Okay, so now that you know what's going on here at my location, every location is different. This is the only free space I have that I can use today. Now, if I was to go around and hunt down a spot, I could do it as long as I made adjustments and changes and maybe pull a tree out. I don't want to do that, guys. I just want to get this over and done with. We're going to get rain this week. We're going to get almost a whole week worth of rain. That's a luxury. That's a luxury. So there is one tree I'm going to pull out. I'm going to pull out this Pinkerton. This almost 10 years old Pinkerton avocado tree, which has failed. It's failed, guys. It's failed. It's a real pity because it's still alive, very, very alive, very much alive. It's coming back now with new growth. It always does this every single year. It's like, nope, I'm not going to do anything over summer. I'm going to sulk. I'm going to be sick. I'm not going to do anything for you in summer. And then in autumn, it comes back with new foliage. And in winter, it's got flowers, right? It's beautiful, beautiful tree in winter, in the middle of the worst time of the year. In July and August, it looks magnificent. And then at the end of, then in spring, when it's time to set fruitlets, all the fruitlets fall. They go boom. And then after it drops all the fruitlets in spring, In summer, it goes into death mode. Death mode. I'm gonna pretend I'm dead for you in summer. Get out of here. He's been doing that now for 5 years. 5 years he's played that game with me, so he's out. He's out. And by the way, if you're in Melbourne, I highly do not recommend. Highly do not recommend. Does that make sense? Yeah. I do not recommend Pinkerton. What a troublemaker. I mean, there is a way to bring this back to life by doing some kind of injecting. Bunnings has got, and I've got the solution in the garage. You spray it, and it sort of gives it a zap, right? It's like a turbo charge zapping, and it helps. And I've tried it; it has helped, yes. But then the following year, it goes back to its funk, and I'm over it. I'm not going to play that game with these trees, right? That do that. So the other, which one am I going to put where? I'm going to put the, I don't know which tree is bigger, the overleaf or the Pennsylvania gold, because I haven't got much room here. I've got 2 jujube trees that are young, but in 3 years, the Lee and the Shangshi Lee jujube, in 3 to 5 years, these two jujube trees will be touching. They're going to be massive. How big? I'll show you how big. I got a Chico jujube that's 10 years old, that big. Each one of those trees will be that big. Season's over now, that's why it's dropping its leaves. It's winter time soon. It's got a few fruit left. So it's going to become, this is what the future looks like for the Lee and the Shangshi Lee. So that means right now they're perfect. Perfect spacing, just right. Just right. So if I put another tree in between them, like one of these Pawpaws, because that's the only space I have. I had a guava here and the guava failed. There it is. There's the guava. This is the best guava in the world and it didn't make it. What a sad situation. I forgot the name of it. Ahmedabad, something like that. Yeah, it didn't make it. 3 years, man. 3 years. It kept dying every winter, and then in spring would come back, and then die the following winter, and then come back, and then die the following winter. Come on, get out of here. So this is the only location I have for these Pawpaws, for one of these Pawpaws. There's not much room. There's exactly, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exactly 5 feet, 1.5 meters, guys. And these Pawpaws, once they're established and happy, they can become as big as the Chico. They can become as big as that jujube I just showed you, the one with the net. See that net? It can become that big. Well, after 10 years, well, 5 to 10 years, I don't know. So it's going to be a big tree if it succeeds. If it fails, of course, then it fails. So that's where I'm at. Or I can pull out the sandpaper fig and put it right there in the middle, between the 4 trees. The large leaf jabbo, the Sherwood jujube. Okay, 1, 2, 3 jujubes and a jabuticaba. They're the 4 trees. And in the middle is the sandpaper fig. But I don't want to pull out the fig, guys. So it's going to have to be here. That's the only free area I have today. I've got other areas. Right here where I removed the fig. I've got all this space here. And all that space over here. Around the dead fig tree. Right, this is all empty. Don't look at the pots, that's just temporary storage. This is temporary. So I've got all this area here. Wow, look how much area there is. But I want you to know that this open area here is very, very hot in summer. Very hot and very sunny. It's the sunniest and hottest part of the whole backyard. And I know that these guys, what did we say before? They can't take hot sun, direct sun, and dry in their first 3 years. They can't take it. So This is not a good spot for them, even though it's available. With a lot of hard work, I got to use the pick, because there are fig tree roots here. I can't just use a shovel, it won't go in. This is very compacted and very hard soil to dig into. I need to use a pick. Back-breaking work to plant anything in there. Okay, so that's why we're back to this spot. The soil here is like a sponge cake. I can literally plant the tree here with my fingers. I don't need a shovel. That's how soft it is. Guys, I'm giving you all the information on what you would do. Yeah, so... all right, let's go back the back one last time. Oh, it's so windy today, but that's good. It's cooling me down because it's hot. I've got this area here too, but I want to keep this open as a passageway. It's my main passageway to the back from the house, right? So I don't want to block. I don't want to block this. This is a perfect space for a tree. But again, it's full sun all day. All day, 12 hours of hot sun. Not good, huh? Yeah, so guys, where else? I've got this spot back here between the loquat and the cherry tree. But again, well, in summer, the cherry tree would be shading the pawpaw. Yeah, I could put one here, I guess. It would work, I guess. Right there, next to the swing. So there is space there. Where else? That's about it, guys. So there, here. I've already got one place for the pawpaw where the Pinkerton is. This is going out, and this is a perfect space here because the reason I put this loquat here 2 years ago was for this purpose. Well, it was for him. It was for the avocado, so we could recover. But nothing helped him. Nothing helped him. Not the shade, not the extra water, the pampering, nothing. He wants to be injected like a heroin addict. No thanks. You're out, buddy. So yeah, we need one more space, and that's it, guys. This is it. This is it here. Density planting. Remember density planting from part 1 where I planted the Jala avocado? Okay, so now that you have a full understanding, let's plant one in here. I'm just going to toss up and go with the I should have researched online which tree is bigger. Doesn't say at the back because, let's see, does it say at the back? Let's see. No, it's just a generic pawpaw tag. Nothing about individual cultivars. All right, guys, let's get started. Okay, we've got the first one in. I had to go a little deeper because it was only 12 inches deep. And it was rock hard. Below those 12 inches, it was like a rock. So I had to get the pick out and start picking, guys. And I filled it with 5 handfuls of gypsum at the bottom after I broke the clay. And look at that, the water just drained within 20 seconds. Let's see. Yep. Yep. So that's pretty good. I'm going to come back later and fill this with straw. Well, not straw, but leaves. I've got a lot of organic matter, guys, underneath the macadamia tree that I can dress this with. I don't need to buy straw. Look what's going on back here. Look at all this for a substitute for straw. Yeah, so I just use what I have. Okay, pawpaw number 2, as I said, is going to go in the place of the Pinkerton avocado. So I really don't want to do this, guys, but you know, there are things and times where things just have to happen, like the crunch. It comes to the crunch. So yeah, when the, you know what, hits the fan, and that's the time now. I can't wait any longer. 5 years, guys, I've waited for this to come back. What a real pity. The lamb has was the same. They both went into decline. Well, I know why the lamb has did. I overwatered it by mistake, by accident. I left the hose on for 2 hours, and then 6 months later the tree died. But this one has never been overwatered, so that tells me that the rainfall, the drainage is not as good as it should be. It's a drainage issue, right? Root rot. Can't be anything else. It's the only thing that gets these. Well, it's the main thing that gets them. Well, other than, you know, if you don't water them, they'll dry out. But we get a lot of water here, guys, in winter, and in summer, of course, you got me. I don't go anywhere. I don't leave the property for 6 months. I'm like what do you call those watchdogs? You know, those watchdogs in people's properties? Yeah, that's me. Except I'm watching my my trees so they don't dry out. Yeah, so gotta do what I gotta do. I hate pulling out trees like this. Anyway, let me do this with 2 hands. Goodbye, my Pinkerton avocado. It was nice knowing ya. Yeah, almost done. Just a few more rocks and we're out. Okay, so now we have a whole empty cavity, right, between the grapefruit, the champu longan, the calamansi kumquat, and this beast loquat, and the black sapote, the baby. 2 babies and 3 beasts. Oh, that's the cherry back there, yeah. All right, so pretty, huh? So guys, I was gonna put this in a pot because I cut it above the graft. The graft is here, so I could try again in a pot, but I did that with a lamb has, if you recall, if you're a regular, and nothing came of it. It was in a pot for 12 months and it grew 2 branches. Then I put it in the ground for 12 months and it grew 2 more branches, and 24 months after pulling the lamb has out of the ground, it pretty much looked like this with 2 skinny branches. That's such a waste of my energy. So now, hello, welcome to the family. American Pawpaw, grafted, right? And we're doing the Pennsylvania Gold in this spot. But I have to dig a hole and put the amendments in there. Let's do it. Look what I found at the bottom of the hole where the Pinkerton avocado was. From a self-watering pot. The bottom part. That was deep under the hole here under the root system, underneath that, directly under it. I wonder if that had anything to do with the demise. But of course, anyone can say anything, right? Of course there was that, George. Dummy. Yeah, it's easy to say something without knowing 100% for sure. All right, guys. Job is done. I planted the tree at grade, at level grade. Exactly. Right. Remember, this is already raised. 2 inches. The actual bed, it's already 2 inches above this spot here. So yeah, and the graft is a good 3 inches above the soil. So we're good. We're all good. I was gonna mound it a bit more, but I don't think that'll be necessary, especially as it's gonna go to sleep now in winter. Oh yeah, and gotta water it in too. There was some really nasty roots here from the loquat already in only 2 years. It's only been in the ground 2 years, this loquat seedling, and it had thick roots already coming in here. I severed them. Wow. Wow, what a beast. I wonder why the loquat is so beastly and the other tropicals are not in the cool climate. This is just so out of the ordinary. It's even faster growing than an apple. Yeah, so this will be watered in now. It's gonna rain. Everyone will be happy, right? I also gave it 5 or 6 handfuls of gypsum just to make sure there's no issues, and of course that's gone. I don't know, I still don't know how that happened. Remember, guys, the Pinkerton was planted 10 years ago. I must have been drunk the day I planted the tree. If I planted it, I took it out of the pot, right? I had it in a pot and I put it into the hole here, and evidently I didn't check underneath that the roots got stuck on that, and that's what happened. I didn't thoroughly check underneath the root system, the root ball, that there, the day I planted it. Things like that happen, guys, to everyone, right? Not like that. Different things happen to us in different ways. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's the video. Yeah, wish us luck on the 2 pawpaws and also the jala avocado. We'll have to wait another 6 months to see how this does. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And we'll see you from the next one, guys. Bye bye now.